It began the summer I turned 19. Savannah's heat made everything sticky and slow, but something else simmered beneath the surface, something forbidden and electric. When Mom married David, I gained a stepbrother, Ethan. He was 22, tan from riding his motorcycle shirtless, with a quiet danger in his smile. His dark green eyes always lingered too long. I used to think it was just harmless curiosity. I didn't know I was part of his game. We weren't close at first. But Ethan had a way of creeping into moments when I least expected him. Like that one night I was up late after a thunderstorm. I padded barefoot into the kitchen in my tiny sleep shorts and loose tank top. The fridge light cast a blue glow in the dark room. I bent down to grab a bottle of water, only to hear his voice behind me. "Couldn't sleep either," he said, his voice low, almost amused. Startled, I turned. He leaned against the doorframe shirtless, his sweats hanging low on his hips, his toned chest glistening faintly from the humidity. He didn't look away. He scanned me slowly, like he was reading a secret in my skin. My breath caught, but I didn't move. His gaze felt like a touch. He stepped closer, brushing past me to grab a drink. I could feel the heat of his body. And that night, as we sat at the table drinking water, our bare knees accidentally touched and didn't move. His finger traced my wrist lightly. "You know," he said, "we're not really siblings." His voice was soft, teasing. My heart pounded so loud I was sure he could hear it. When he stood and leaned down, his breath brushed my cheek. His lips hovered near my ear. "Don't be scared," he whispered. "No one has to know." The next few days, I tried to pretend it didn't happen. But I couldn't forget the way he looked at me that night, or how I felt in that moment. Tension grew in every quiet encounter. I'd catch him watching me when I bent over the laundry basket, or walking around in shorts and a crop top. Once, I was stretching on the living room floor, doing yoga. I looked up to see him watching from the hallway, biting his lip. "You really shouldn't stretch like that in front of me," he said, low and dark. "It's distracting." One evening, our parents went out for dinner and left us alone. Ethan suggested we watch a movie. I picked a romantic thriller and sat at the edge of the couch, keeping distance. Halfway through, I felt his hand on my thigh. Not forceful, just there, firm, possessive. He leaned in, close enough that I could feel his breath against my skin. "You want this too," he whispered, his voice a promise and a dare. I turned to look at him, his lips inches from mine, and I let it happen. That kiss burned like lightning. It was wrong, but it felt too right to stop. That night, we didn't sleep. We were in his room until sunrise, a whirlwind of tangled sheets, fast breathing, whispered secrets. He kept saying it was just us. "It'll stay between us," he promised, his voice hoarse. "Just ours. But secrets have shadows." The next week, I noticed he was filming more. His phone always near. He'd take selfies, video clips, pretend to be casual, but sometimes I'd see it pointed at me when I was in my towel or walking down the hallway half-dressed. One night, I caught him watching a clip. I confronted him. "You said it would be private," I snapped. "I never said I'd forget," he murmured. "Don't you like being wanted?" He smiled, almost sadly. "No one sees you like I do." His words sent shivers down my spine, but not the good kind anymore. I started locking my door, avoiding him. But Ethan wasn't done playing. One stormy night, he cornered me in the garage. Rain hammered on the roof as he stood there, wild-eyed, damp from the rain, breathing heavy. "You can't ignore me, Riley," he growled. "You think you can just act like nothing happened?" "I don't want this anymore," I said, voice shaking. He stepped closer. "Liar. You crave it. The secret. The danger." His fingers grazed my arm, sending a jolt through me. "Come on, one last time." "No," I said louder. He froze. There was something unhinged in his eyes for a second. Then, just like that, it was gone. He backed away slowly. "Fine. But remember, I never promised to forget." That night, I packed a bag and left. I stayed with my friend Jessica. I couldn't sleep for days. I kept checking my phone, scared he'd posted something, sent something, said something. But he didn't. Not a word. Silence. Weeks later, Mom told me Ethan had moved out. Transferred colleges. disappeared. And just like that, the secret was gone. But the memory still lingered. Hot, dangerous, and too real. Every now and then, I'll scroll through old photos, and there's one I missed. One he took of me, asleep on the couch, peaceful, unaware. I delete it. But it reminds me of what we had and what I escaped. Because secrets don't stay buried forever. Especially the ones that start with a promise and end with a game.